Hello, today we will talk about Sphurana. I understand that there has been a lot of hype about Sphurana, hype that I created. Yeah, but Sphurana is something that should be celebrated. It is something that should be known by everyone. Even small kids should know that they are not this body, that they are Sphurana. Sphurana is the beating of the spiritual heart, which is located in the right side of the chest cavity. I got to learn about Sphurana in 2020 via Maharshi. He suddenly appeared on my mobile screen, not in real life. He doesn't do those kinds of miracles. So, when I read about Sphurana, I realized that I have experienced Sphurana on several occasions. I just didn't know that this is something spiritual, and it happens with a lot of people. Everyone, almost everyone has experienced Sphurana. Everyone. There's not even a single person on this planet that hasn't experienced Sphurana at least once. But modern science has labeled spiritual phenomena as something, scientific and something which can be proven, something which is not miraculous. And so we just take everything so lightly. We don't think even once that this can be something which brings us closer to God, or maybe this is something which is God, because God is within all of us. And when that particular thing is realized, we become God. That's why we are here. So I've tried to find a visual representation of Sphurana on YouTube, and here is what Sphurana feels like. See? This is what Sphurana feels like within your chest. Sphurana is the beating of the spiritual heart. So, and what is the concept behind this? Even in quantum physics and in Shastras as well, it is said clearly that the world is not real, that the world is Maya. So, if this world that we see is not real, if this wall is not real, if this body is not real, then what is real? Then the answer is consciousness. Atman. Your life force is real. You know that you exist. Your existence is real. Your existence and existence of this universe, the existence and your existence is the same. Every time the word existence is used, you are being talked about as well. So, this is what Sphurana feels like. Maharshi says Sphurana is a dynamo. And it really is, because within my chest it is beating all the time. I feel it, and it is like an atomic bomb. Like this, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. It doesn't stop, because Sphurana cannot stop. Sphurana is the vibration. energy keeps on vibrating, right? Energy is never stable. It is always vibrating. So this Sphurana keeps on beating. Now, what is the significance? What is the significance of this vibration of Sphurana? Vibration of Sphurana is the effulgence of I, 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 I. It is मैं, मैं. Maharshi has said that entire problem begins when we start to identify ourselves with the body. Problem arises when we start to associate ourselves with the mind. This mind that keeps on thinking all the time, this mind that can contain happiness only for 2 days or 3 days, and after 3 days it has to feel sad so that it can feel happiness once again, and then it has to feel sad once again. This is how mind works. This is the cycle of birth and rebirth as well. So, what Maharshi says? Maharshi says, find out who you are. Who you really are. Are you this body? Are you this mind? What are you? Who are you? In Shastras, they use this technique called nidhi-dhyasana. So, if you have read Nirvana Shatkam, so in that Nirvana Shatkam, you will find they have talked about everything. Your Pachan Tantra, your prana, and every phenomena in the body, and said, no, I am not this Pachan Tantra. I am not this prana. I am not this sharira. With this process, neti, what they have done, finally arrived at the truth that if I am not all this, then who am I? I am the formless. I am the changeless. I am the motionless. I am the never ending, never beginning Brahman. And thus, I don't fear at all. And thus, worries do not touch me. And thus, sins cannot corrupt me. Because apart from me, nothing else exists. This is the bliss of Sphurana, bliss of knowing oneself. The kind of bliss that when you talk about it, you start crying. This bliss is so strong, so pure, so full of life. So what Maharshi says? Maharshi says, find out who you are. So when you dive into self-inquiry, you come to that point where Sphurana is located. Here. But that point is neither inside nor outside. This is the beauty of Sphurana. It is within you, and yet it is not located within you. Maybe you want to look, excuse me. Maybe you want to look at Sphurana, the visual representation I just showed you, once again. Just take the feel of it. Just look at it and revel in your own beauty. You will realize that nothing in this world has to be feared about. And this courageousness comes when you dive into self-inquiry. So you sit and you can close your eyes if you want to and just ask yourself, who am I? What will happen is the ongoing stream of your thought will be obstructed with the question, who am I? And there will be an answer from within, which comes with practice. But the answer is silence. The answer is a feeling. The existence can be felt. Entire universe, entire existence can be felt within. And when you ask yourself, O Brahman, the only reality, who am I? When you ask yourself this question, you start to feel your own existence. Your attention gets directed towards your own existence. Otherwise, what is happening is your mind is going outwards all the time. All the time. From the moment you wake up in the morning till the time you fall into deep sleep state, your mind is running towards sense objects. It is running after samsara. Mine used to run too, and I know how painful it is. I know. And the pain was very much severe for me because I knew that this is not right. I knew that this mind is not me. It is an imposter pretending to be me. I knew that I am caged within a body. I am caged within a mind. And even though I am not completely free, excuse me, even though I am not completely free, but there's one thing that I've realized, and that one thing came as a tight slap onto my cheek. I can't tell you. I was sitting, crying, praying to Lord Arunachala Shiva, asking him, why am I not yet rescued from samsara? Why do I have to suffer when I know that I am not the doer at all? And you know what answer I got? Even your desire for liberation is an illusion. That is the answer I got. I was told that you are being dramatic. Oh beloved Bhakta, I see your dramas, I see what you are trying to do, and I am here to tell you that even your desire for liberation is only an illusion. It is as unreal as this samsara. It is as unreal as your sharira. It is as unreal as your anthakarna. That is the bond you develop with your guru. And that's how you get all the answers immediately. Okay? So going back to Sphurana. There are many people and many scholars who are trying to pursue self-inquiry. And I don't know whether they are succeeding or not, but I'm really, really happy that there are people who are trying, who are willing to find who they are. Okay? But there is one small thing. They might have to adjust their approach a little bit. When you go to a lover, will you just go to them and say, listen, I like you and I would want to be with you, I think, for the rest of my life. So, you have no other choice but to accept me. Is that how you speak? No, you can't. When you approach a lover, you are approaching the God. Lover is the beloved. So you have to approach a lover with emotions, with devotion. Similarly, self, Sphurana, the source. You have to approach the source with love. Now, no one is saying that you forget about self-inquiry and just keep on expressing love to the source. No one is saying that. In fact, you can do that as well. And that's something that I did. I didn't pursue self-inquiry. I was just too distorted, too distressed because of my separation with Brahman. I just couldn't pursue anything. And I was disheartened just by the thought that Brahman cut me off from himself and threw me into samsara. And I am feeling all the pain, and Brahman, who is Satchitanand, has no worries in the world. He doesn't even care that my beloved child is suffering in samsara. These are the kind of thoughts that I had since childhood. So, what you must do is, you must go into self-inquiry with love. When you have love in your heart, the source will open itself to you. Sphurana is the vibration, but there comes a time when your mind becomes so strong, so agile, that it can take up the form of Sphurana completely. If I show you this marker, in order to see this marker, your mind has to take up this form. So currently your mind has taken up my form because you are looking at me. So all my qualities, my merits and demerits are being formed within your mind. So after talking to me, if you feel purified and if you feel more corrupt, it is only because of the quality of the mind. Mind is really, really powerful. It can imbibe qualities. It can become like the object that it is reflecting. So, when you pursue self-inquiry, a time comes that after years of practice, your mind has gained so much strength that now it can reflect Sphurana. Now it can take up the form of Sphurana completely. Then you penetrate this vibration of Sphurana and you dive deep into Brahman. which is stability. There is no ripple in the ocean of Brahman, no ripple at all. So what happens with me in nidhi-dhyasana is I start with falling into Sphurana and I lose the body. Body gets lost, and then a moment comes when there is nothing, no movement, perfect stability. And it is peaceful. But it is not samadhi. Even though this is a really advanced state, and maybe it is just one step below samadhi. I'm not entirely sure. But so what happens is, first you eradicate the mind. The size of the mind gets smaller and smaller and smaller with practice of self-inquiry. Then Sphurana is realized. Sphurana is experienced. When you experience Sphurana, a little bit of time will be spent in becoming accustomed with Sphurana. Because when it happens, it just gives you jolts of happiness, jolts of bliss. And when it happened with me for the first time, when I went to Tiruvannamalai in 2021, it started happening and I went crazy. I was like, oh my God, from where all this happiness is coming? Because I was really sad. I was trying to find Brahman and this suddenly appeared and it took away all my sorrows. After that, I required around 6 months. 6 months it took for me to realize that Sphurana will never be taken away from me ever again. Once I have been bestowed with Sphurana, it is going to stay. Because if it weren't meant to be here with me all the time, it would have been taken away from me or it would have never been given to me. So now I know perfectly well that it will never be taken away from me. I am always going to be this peaceful, I am always going to be this blissful, and I am always going to feel proximity with Brahman. This is the gift Maharshi has given to me. So, what happens is, you feel Sphurana, you start feeling bliss, then you try to hold on to Sphurana. You try to becoming one with Sphurana. You try to merge your mind with Sphurana. And suddenly, one day, your mind becomes so powerful that all it can reflect is Sphurana. And then, when it is just continuous vibration, then you reach the stability of Brahman. Now, beyond this point, I don't know what exists because I haven't reached that state, so I cannot tell you about that. I can only tell you till here. But there's one thing I can tell you for sure. Everyone is meant to experience Sphurana and everyone is meant to become blissful. Your pains, your sufferings, your insecurities, your fears, responsibilities, the ways of samsara that have tormented you, that have tortured you, that have kept you away from feeling whole. All this is an illusion. Everything is an illusion. and your real nature is bliss. Maharshi has said this, that your real nature is bliss. Everything else is just an illusion. So the significance of Sphurana is that once you feel Sphurana, it becomes nearly impossible for you to attend to your thoughts. In Jagrat Avastha, mind remains in the forehead, in the third eye. In third eye chakra, mind remains when you are in Jagrat Avastha. From there, it thinks, it sees, it thinks, it perceives. When you experience Sphurana, the hold of mind becomes a little loose. Now, you have 2 points. 2 points in your body to focus on. One here and one here. So what happens normally is, if you are not experiencing Sphurana, entire day, entire night, your mind will keep on focusing on the thoughts. But when you have Sphurana, your mind will keep on attending to Sphurana. Do you get it? What I am trying to say is, I am here and I have no idea what is going on in here. Most of the times when I am here, I literally have no idea what I am thinking about. But thoughts are there. I'm just not aware of them. So I'm just sitting and I'm experiencing Sphurana. I'm going deep into bliss, and suddenly I come out of bliss because I may be having some turbulent thought, and I would just go into my forehead and I would be like, wait a minute, is this what I was thinking? Really? What is the need for me to think? When this world is not real, when I am not real, when the people around me are not real, why must I contemplate about them? And then I come back to Sphurana. So this is the significance of Sphurana. It saves you from thinking. It saves you from the thought. And Maharshi says that if there is no thought, there is no pain. Because when you think of samsara, you become tormented by it. But when you don't think of samsara, samsara cannot affect you. That is the way of coming out of samsara. That's how you escape Maya, the stormy ocean of desires. These are the words of Maharshi. So, a self-realized being is one who attends to Sphurana completely, and he has no idea what is going on in the mind. He doesn't even care. Mind gets merged into the source. Now there might be thoughts. I don't know whether in the final stage there are thoughts or not. Completely, I don't know. But all I know is that those thoughts will have no effect. No effect whatsoever. Because the bliss of Sphurana is so dominant, and when you know that you are Sphurana, why would you be affected by anything else? Why? So this is the significance of Sphurana. Now what nidhi-dhyasana is. Somewhere in this entire process that I just elaborated lies what nidhi-dhyasana is. There is the source. Nidhi-dhyasana is me knocking on the source, knocking on the gate. Brahman, open up, I'm here. Please accept me. And the gate hasn't been opened yet, not even once. But I'm leaning onto the gate when I'm in nidhi-dhyasana. And I experience nidhi-dhyasana only for 2-3 seconds, I guess. After 2-3 seconds, my mind becomes so restless that it has to go out. It has to come back here. From here, it has to come back here. It has to think about the entire process that just happened here, and it has to, evaluate. And then after evaluation, it has to come down back. It gains some courage. Okay, I can do it once more. It will come back here, and then mind will be like, wow, this is so peaceful. And then mind will again get scared. It will again run here, and it keeps on happening. And I know that this is nidhi-dhyasana because in those few moments there is no seer, no seen, and not even the process of seeing. So all triputis gets vanished in those 3 seconds. I think this point needs a little more detailing, right? But maybe we can cover this point in the next video, right? Triputis. I'll try to find some more content on Triputi and significance of understanding Triputi. For this video, I would like you to understand that this Sphurana is the real you. This visual representation that you saw, that is how it feels. You cannot see Sphurana, it cannot be seen, but that's how it feels. I'll see you in the next video. And now that you know I'm here and you know I'm gonna stay, we're fine now.